Welcome. In previous videos, I have talked about my experience regarding phenomena that precede the exiting of the physical body to enter the astral plane of existence through wake-induced lucid dream techniques. There's also another video on dream science. Watch that if you like. But today I will recount some actual out-of-body experiences and then make some additional comments on that. So in these two following reports, I showed that there is a difference in terms of significance regarding the memory of an out-of-body experience. For if a person managed to wake up immediately after returning to the physical body and reviews immediately the event to remember the entirety of the experience, the memory of it will be much more vivid and meaningful than when a person returns without physically waking up and letting sleep dominate, that is, ending up having a blackout. So this is an example of not waking up immediately after an out-of-body experience. Last night I had pain in my gums because of the infection. It bothered me a lot, but I still tried to do an astral projection. I turned, facing up, as this is the most comfortable position for me to astral project. Despite the discomfort of the sore gums, it was easy for me to get to the vibration and sound stage. At this phase, as my body felt increasingly swollen, I barely felt my sore gums. I wonder if this practice could be used as a form of anesthesia and relief. Throughout the night I woke up several times, and so I tried every time to get out of my body. Finally, in one of the attempts, I remember making an angle equal to when a person is going out of bed. It was relatively easy, and I even managed to get to the front wall of my room, but I felt that I was still under the influence of my physical body, as if I was somehow attached to it. While I was away, I had a sensation as if I were in my physical body and astral body simultaneously. I couldn't see anything, it was all dark, maybe because I was still under the influence of my physical body. I sat on my roommate's empty bed, who didn't sleep here at night. And little by little, I felt more present in the astral body, and I even opened my astral eyes and looked at the moonlight that came in through the half-open blinds from the window. Only in the morning, when I woke up, did I remember that I had this out-of-body experience, but that felt just like a regular dream. This is so because the memory I have of it is as if it had been an unimportant event. Therefore, it feels as a regular dream. As you can see here, the significance and importance we attach to a dream, in quotes, has a lot to do with the intensity of the memory of it. And this varies depending on the completion of the entire astral projection process. An astral projection does not end with the exiting of the physical body and with any subsequent adventure in the astral. No, it ends in fact with the arrival and awakening to the physical plane of existence. It's the returning. Only then do we establish its significance and imprint this event in our mind as something intense and thus meaningful. Otherwise, it will always be remembered as something of little importance. So this account also showed us that human consciousness can exist in several places simultaneously. But there is a downside to this, which is a lower sense of presence in each of the receptacles or vehicles that accommodates human consciousness. So in this case, the vehicles is the astral body and the human body. This next account is about an out-of-body experience in which, upon arrival in the physical body, I made an effort to physically wake up to recall the event in the waking state and thus not to lose its significance. I ended up falling asleep, trying to astral project. But between 1 and 3 a.m. I woke up again in the vibration state with the physical body completely paralyzed. Right at the beginning, I felt my arms and legs free from the cocoon. The only part of my astral body that was connected to the physical body was the torso, and perhaps even more so, the forehead. I even thought about getting up, pretending I'm not projecting, trying to fool my mind's blockade as if I happened to be awake in the physical world. But it didn't work. I was too heavy. If someone could see me in the astral plane, I must have looked like a turtle on its back trying to figure it out. Then, with a lot of mental strength, I felt myself rising up, but completely wrapped in a kind of rubber band. On the face, the rubber bands were being stretched to the point of opening my mouth. I was happy because I felt it was working, and that's why a wide smile was forming in my astral body. I continued the extreme mental focus. First, my face, moving forward, felt what seemed to be torn rubber bands, and then the rest of my body started to feel free, floating. My astral face was as if it were part of a nail trying to break an elastic membrane. Suddenly, I hear a loud boom, and I feel myself being shot out like a projectile at high speeds. This was really cool. I felt my astral body passing very briefly through the ceiling of my room, the upper room, and the roof of the building. I felt the densities of the building. I was projected above the clouds towards the top of the thin atmosphere, finally reaching space. Very rapidly, I felt really free and loose, but the acceleration didn't stop. I let myself be carried away by a kind of momentum of accelerating intent. My speed was increasing, flying backwards, all clumsy and carried away by inertia, not by physical laws, but by the initial will. I felt the vertigo of speed and saw the constellation in space moving. Another speed indicator was the sound like wind blowing against my ears. I remember seeing a cluster of stars with nebulae of gas and cosmic dust where I was passing, seeing them moving away from me. I decided to decelerate, but as I thought that the speed I had taken was so great, I thought too it would take time to decelerate. The speed slowed down eventually and I flied through an area that looked like asteroids to me. Only they were rounder and had a brown color and wooden texture. The background stars were enveloped in a blue nebula with orange curly details. Then I decided to go back to the physical body because I didn't know how far I was going. I didn't even know if my imagination was already working. That is, if I was tuning into the fantasy subplane of the astral plane of existence. I thought of my physical body and immediately found myself in it, lying on the bed, still feeling the vibrations, the sound and the paralysis. I tried at all costs to wake up physically so as not to lose significance and, in the worst case, to completely forget about this trip. So I thought about lifting my right arm to hit my chest and wake up. I made a huge effort to lift my arm, and with all my strength I hit my chest, to end up realizing that after all it was only the astral arm that moved because I felt my hand passing my chest, where I felt the density of the bones and all my insides. Startled, I woke up to my panting breath. The ideal thing to do was to have written the strip, but as my roommate was at home, I ended up staying calm in bed. So I kept remembering everything in my head, recounting what had happened, to remain the memory fresh, so that I would not lose its significance. On the early morning of the day, when I woke up, I realized how incredible this out-of-body experience was. As real as everyday things are real. So these were two entries from my dream journal. This happened a few years ago in my university days or college days. Yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed these stories. If you like the content of this video, hit the like button. Please help me grow this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm having fun making these videos, so that's why I guess I will continue to do them. I hope you like it. Be well.